God did what he said he would do, what he would promise. So Sarah conceived and bore a son to Abraham in his old age at the appointed time of which God had spoken to him. Abraham named his son who was born to him, the son whom Sarah bore to him, Isaac. Then Abraham circumcised his son Isaac when he was 8 days old,
offer your son as a burnt offering. Isaac, Abraham. Abraham took 2 men.
On the third day, Abraham raised his eyes and saw the place from a distance. Then Abraham said to his young men, "Stay here with the donkey, and I and the boy will go over there, and we will worship and return to you." And Abraham took the wood from the burnt offering and laid it on his son Isaac. And he took in his hand the fire and the knife. So the two of them walked on together. So the two of them walked on together. Isaac spoke to his father, Abraham, and said, "My father." And he said, "Here I am, my son." And he said, "Look, the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering?" Abraham said, "God will provide for himself the lamb for the burnt offering, my son." So the two of them walked on together. Then they came to the place of which God had told them. Then they came to the place of which God had told him, and Abraham built the altar there and arranged the wood and bound his son Isaac and laid him on the altar on top of the wood. And Abraham reached out with his hand and took the knife to slaughter his son. But the angel of the Lord called to him from heaven and said, "Abraham, Abraham." And he said, "Here I am." He said, "Do not reach out your hand against the boy, and do not do anything to him. For now I know that you fear God, since you have now, I know that, not withheld your son, your only son, from me." Then Abraham raised his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him was a ram caught in the thicket by its horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered it up as a burnt offering in the place of his son. And Abraham named that place, "The Lord Provide," as it is said to this day, "On the mountain of the Lord it will be provided." Then the angel of the Lord called to Abraham the second time from heaven and said, "By myself I have sworn, declares the Lord, because you have done these things and have not withheld your son, your only son. Indeed, I will greatly bless you, and I will greatly multiply your seed as the stars of heaven and as the sand, which is on the seashore. And your seed shall possess the gate of their enemies. And in your seed all the nations of the earth shall be blessed, because you have obeyed my voice." So Abraham returned to his young men, and they got up and went together to Beersheba. And Abraham lived in Beersheba. Now it came about after these things that Abraham was told, saying, "Behold, Milcah also has borne children to Nahor. Uz is her son, Buz his brother, but look, the father of Abraham. Uz has borne Dash, Jidlaph, and Bethlehem. But these were kings in the father of Abraham. Thus did Milcah bear Abraham children and Keziah and Mahlon. Also had Zerah and Bethel and Tahash and Gilgal. Now Kenan lived 127 years. These were the years of the life of Sarah. Sarah died, and Arabah, that is
Sarah
Haran,
died.